everybody. Welcome to Cricut Card Hacks for the Card Making with SVGS Plus Summit. Yay! I have my celebrity craft panel here, as you see. So we're going to be talking about Cricut Card Hacks today. And if you don't know who I am Elena Anderson with Black Sheep 303. I'm the host of the Card Making with SVGS Summit that you see running across the board there. Hopefully everyone here has their ticket, but if you came across us by accident, it's a free event that's going on right now through the 4th of October. We have 6 different card projects every day that you can watch the tutorial for, download the files for, get the instructions for 24 hours for each of the 4 days. So there's 24 projects total, 6 each day for 24 hours. You can watch it for free. So it's fun to join in if you haven't already. And I also, my main company is Black Sheep 303 Creative. You're on my YouTube channel right now. So, and I'm an SVG designer and I primarily do cards. I started out blogging as a traditional card maker with like stamps and dies. Then I transitioned into SVGs and designing those. So now I'm trying to kind of marry the two for everyone who's a traditional card maker who wants to learn about cutting cards with a cutting machine, electronic cutting machine, and for people who do that already but may not know about like some of the more traditional supplies you can use or extras that you can add to those cards to jazz them up, if you will. All right, so now let's hear from our other experts. Kelly, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Great. Thank you very much, Elena. So, hi, everybody. My name is Kelly Rossouw. I'm a Cricut content creator in Cape Town in South Africa. I like to focus on print and cut projects, and this is my project for the summit. As soon as it focuses, there we go. And what I did with this one is I created this card using print and cut and heat transfer vinyl, so HTV. That's the nice, shiny foil elements that you can see there. Like when it comes to projects, I kind of like to do slightly different things, and that's kind of one of the things I'm going to be chatting about in this awesome live stream. Just thinking about, kind of thinking out of the box and how to use your Cricut in different ways. And print and cut for me is kind of one of those things, and I know that it's super intimidating for a lot of people. And that's why I like to talk about it so much, because I like to kind of demystify it and, show you that it's not as intimidating as you may think, just by going over a few simple things. So I hope that you guys catch it's 10 p.m. in South Africa at the moment. So, and I had a really bad night's sleep last night. So please excuse me if my words like stutter. But yeah, so I hope you caught my workshop. Like I said, it's live today, and I'm excited to see what you make. So please, if you make something, please share it with not only of my project, but of anybody's project. Please share it with us in the Facebook group. It's like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure for everybody else, it's the highlight of my day seeing what you make. So I can't wait to see what you make.
I completely agree. That is always the best part. And there's already a couple of yours, Kelly, in the group that you've probably seen.
I've seen, yeah. They're amazing.
I know, they're really cool. Okay, Jamie, I'm going to go clockwise.
Hello, my name is Jamie. I am from coffeeinmykitchen.com, and I am in the Nashville, Tennessee area in the United States. And my card project today was the Christmas tree shaker card. And I love these cards. They're just so fun and interactive, and you can use a lot of different materials to create your shaker elements and everything. And yeah, so I hope you all had fun today doing all of the projects and stuff. Over at Coffee in My Kitchen, we have a blog, we have a YouTube channel, we have a free email newsletter that you can subscribe to. We have tons of printables and SVG templates for free that you can grab there, and a lot of really, really fun stuff for our members every week, and then also seasonally. So I'm very excited to be here, and that's my pitch. So yes.
Yay. And really, really cool project too. And that's available today if anybody hasn't watched it along with Kelly's. So
yes.
Shawn, tell us about yourself and your neck brace.
Yeah. So my name is Shawn Mosch. ShawnMosch.com is my website. I love to teach people how to use their Cricut. I am going to address this so that people aren't asking all kinds of questions. 7 weeks ago, I had to have neck surgery. They fused me from my C4 to C7. Some of you who follow me know that I've been saying I have a numb thumb and first finger for several months, almost a year now. After much going around with the doctors, we found out it was a pinched vertebrae. It was pinching my spinal cord.
Ooh.
So had surgery. Have to wear this for 6 more weeks. But luckily, I had already made this cute little card and filmed all the video before all of this went amok. So one of my favorite things to do when making paper crafts is to use iron-on vinyl on them, because I don't know about you, but after you make something with iron-on, you always end up with those little scraps. And I look at it and I say, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's too big to just throw away. So I have a little bin that I put all my scraps in. So then when I go to make cards, I kind of go to that bin first. And you can see Rudolph's nose is a shiny foiled iron-on vinyl. And yes, you could use some shiny cardstock, but what I love about doing this with vinyl, I am the queen of getting my fingerprints on things. So if I was using a shiny cardstock, my fingerprints would be all over Rudolph's nose. But because I'm using the iron-on, that clear carrier sheet through the top. So then I can press and peel that off without getting marks all over his nose. But it's also just a great way to do, if you follow me, you might have seen I do a lot of really fine detailed things that people are like, oh, how did you cut that with cardstock? It's like, I didn't. I cut it with iron-on vinyl, because then you can pick up all those little pieces in one big swoop and iron them on, and boom, it's easy peasy. So one of my most favorite things to do is answering Cricut questions. So if you have questions, bring them on.
Yes, please, for all of us.
Yeah.
And that's kind of could be our first Cricut card hack, is using heat transfer vinyl on your cards, which is very cool. Not everybody knows how to do it, but Shawn did it, and then Kelly did it in her project as well. And I think Jen Goody has it in her project that's coming up later in the week. So you can learn all about how to do that. And it's great. I love it for sentiments.
Yes.
Because I have a tendency to do a lot of like really little and skinny sentiments, and then you can't cut those out of cardstock. So I'll draw them with a pen, but it's so much better when you can just do vinyl.
And I did a recipe for somebody. It was like a memorial thing, their grandma's recipe for Christmas presents. And it was a really fine, handwritten thing. And reading that was so hard until I did this little trick of adding an offset around the letters. Then you read the offset first, because then you're not pulling and tugging as much on the little fine letters. If you go on my YouTube channel, you can see even the little dot of the I stayed right in place when I weeded it. It was so satisfying.
That's smart.
That's awesome.
All right. So question here is, do you feel the iron-on vinyl is better than sticker vinyl for cards? I do.
I do.
Because this iron-on doesn't stick down to the card, like until you heat it. Whereas like adhesive vinyl can stick to the cardstock and then tear the cards.
And with a project like, any project, I love that with the HTV, you get that clear carrier sheet. So you can set it down and kind of look and go, nope, I didn't line that up right. And that carrier sheet might be a little tacky, but it's Post-it note tacky, where you can peel it up and reposition it and go, nope, still screwed up. Get it right. If you were doing adhesive vinyl, it'd be like, and that's where it's going to land, because that's where it's stuck.
I think absolutely, but I think also, like, when it comes to if you're wanting to put like a sentiment in black or something like that with adhesive vinyl, that obviously there are exceptions, but the majority of vinyl that you get is going to be glossy, or it's going to be like a super matte, like a very rough textured matte if you're using like smart vinyl or something like that. Yeah. So if you're wanting something to not stand out as much, then HTV is leagues better, because it most of the time it has a matte finish, unless you're talking about like foil or something fun like that. So it melds with the card better in terms of like aesthetic. Yep. So I find it nicer for that as well.
And if you need some pop, you can use some foil or some glitter vinyl, or it's just such a great way to use up the scraps.
It really is.
Yeah.
I just hate throwing anything away. It's like, that's a decent sized thing. I could use that for something.
Jamie, have you used vinyl yet? On your card?
I have not, so I'm learning a lot today.
Okay.
So lots of good things to try.
Cool.
Love it.
I'm going to share my hack that I've already kind of talked about today, just because people have asked, and that is you can restick your mat. So when your mat gets dirty and so you want to clean it first. So you clean it. I clean mine with Dawn, like a little bit of Dawn and a sponge and water and like some warm water, and you just clean off the surface. And then if it's really won't stick again, because at a certain point you can clean it enough times it doesn't really stick again, you can restick it. You do not have to just go out and buy a new one. So what I do, and I have videos on my YouTube channel about this for Cricut and Silhouette and Scan and Cut, tape off the area so that the grid is exposed, but the parts around it are covered by the tape. And then you take this thick glue, this fat chunky glue pen. It's called the Zig 2A glue pen, and you just draw on the mat to cover the whole area and let it dry, because it's 2A glue, because when it's wet, it's a permanent bond, but when it dries, it's a temporary bond. So then if you let it dry and it dries clear, then you can just reuse the mat. And you can do that over and over and over again.
Have you ever done the contact paper trick?
Well, we talked about that too.
Okay. I like that
we
one.
can talk a little bit more about that, but let me answer this question. It won't gunk up your blade to restick your mats. No. Now, you want to be careful. You don't want to put a super heavy coat of glue. You want a thin coat of glue. But once it's dry, it's just like the adhesive that's already on there. But talk about the contact paper.
I do is I rotate my mats. So I only buy the green mats, and I buy them in the value pack. And when I take the clear carrier sheet off, that thing is sticky as heck, and I could lift a small child with it. So I was like, I mark it as my strong grip. But then once I've used it a little bit, then it's conditioned. And those of us that are way back Cricut crafters, we remember putting our hands all over them and conditioning them right out of they're always way too sticky. But then once you use it enough, it's less sticky, so that it basically is the same tackiness as a light grip. So then I rotate them, and once the light grip one isn't sticking anymore, then that's when I start to wash. I get back a little bit. Also, blue painter's tape to tape down things around the edges.
Yeah. Kelly, you use the contact paper.
Yep.
Yeah, only when I'm using or cutting leather and faux leather and fabric and felt and things like that. But other than that, I don't. It's just I'm lazy.
Me too.
So to have to put the contact paper on before I'm doing a project, in all honesty, I'd rather just go and buy a new mat every couple of months or something. I don't have the patience.
I wait till they're on sale, and then I just buy a ton.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jamie, you got any mat hacks?
Oh boy. Actually,
No
I'm just like everybody else. I buy a bunch when they're on sale and then just use them till they die, and then I throw them out. So I don't know if that's bad, but yeah.
Yeah.
And even once they're dead, you could use the clear carrier sheet to make stencils. I've seen people use the mat once it's really lost its sticky, that you could use that. If you're doing inking, that you have to blot off things, it's another surface that's it's already trash.
Yeah.
Why not use it for
that's
that?
a really good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Does anybody have thoughts on knockoff mats?
I have tried some, and the ones I've tried lost their stickiness faster. So I always end up going back to Cricut because I'm like, okay, it might have been cheaper, but was it really worth it if it lost its sticky so much quicker? So I don't buy Cricut vinyl. That's a whole nother story. But things I do buy Cricut brand, mats, blades. I really like their pens, actually. The off brands, and we've all tried them all. Yeah, they work, but depending on what you're doing, those Cricut ones for mats and blades, in my opinion, just hold up longer.
I discovered a big problem with knockoff mats, kind of accidentally, for the Joy. Because I do a lot of stuff with the Joy and the Joy Extra, and I had a summit previously that was for the Joy, and I showed how to engrave with the Joy, because you can. There's a way to do it. But to engrave, as anybody who's a Cricut user knows, you have to position the element you're going to engrave on the mat in a specific place that matches like what you're seeing in Design Space, so that you're going to get it engraved in the right spot. And I had some knockoff mats that I was using, like, because I don't think they have a strong grip for the Joy. I'm not sure. Maybe they do now, but at the time they didn't.
Right.
So I was using a knockoff mat, and I discovered that the grid didn't line up with the grid in Design Space. So it was like it had too much of a margin on the top of the mat. So the whole grid was knocked down like by about 1/4 of an inch. So when you fed it in, the machine was cutting 1/4 of an inch higher. So you have to be careful of that kind of thing.
Well, and I've seen with people using knockoffs for print and cut, like the scanning sensor isn't where the Cricut is expected to be because of that same situation. You're lining up to the grid, but the grid isn't in the same place as the Cricut grid is. And it might only be off like 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
But if you're making stickers, you could cut somebody's eye off.
Yeah. Anybody else knockoff mat thoughts? Not really.
I bought some for my Joy Extra because I wanted to be able to have the strong grip mat, like you said. They don't, as far as I know, they don't make the strong grip because the Joys aren't designed to cut thicker materials. They don't make the strong grip mats for them, which, I mean, logically it makes sense. But, just like Elena said, we always have hacks and things like that for doing things in machines we're not supposed to do. So, but I mean, I haven't used them all that much, but they haven't really been too much of a problem for me. But the price difference between the two, in considering that, a mat takes, I mean, unless you're cutting hundreds of pages of things every day, a mat is not going to be something that you're going to be buying 2 or 3 or 4 of them a month. So for me, the generic brand or Cricut brand, I've seen better usage on those long term. So I just kind of bite the bullet and pay the extra couple of dollars or whatever it is for the Cricut brand as opposed to the off brand. But also I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the off brand, because sometimes a lot of people have bought the off brand and it's lasted even longer than the Cricut ones. I think it's you have more of a gamble with the off brand because it's not as regulated as what Cricut does. Cricut's probably more consistent, but you have more of a gamble with the off brand getting a good or a bad one.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And you do void your warranty if you use a knockoff. I mean, technically, maybe not technically, but I always am like, don't use anything off brand or, that's not allowed until after your 1-year warranty expires. Because like my little hacks for the Joy, like the engraving and stuff, that would void your warranty. So
yeah,
nobody's going to know unless you tell them, but yeah.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how they would prove something like that.
Right, that's true.
So, but I mean, you are worried correct.
About it.
They do say
disclaimer.
They do say that it does. Yeah.
Disclaimer for us. How about that? Okay. Well, another hack. Kelly, do you have a hack you want to share?
Well, one of my favorite things to use my Cricut, I mean, I've got it sitting behind me, but this is also a Cricut, but it's not the Cricut that I'm talking about, but it's also to use my Cuttlebug with my Cricut. So what I do is I will cut a stencil out of mylar, or I use what I call frosted sheet. It's a material that we have in PNA. It's like I think they use it for folders and files and things like that. It's a nice thick material. It's a little bit thicker than the acetate, like the Cricut acetate that you get. Oh, you can't really see the acetate, but if I hold it up into the reflection, then you can see that it is there. There's the light. But I cut stencils out of my mylar or acetate or whatever it is, and then I run it through my Cuttlebug.
Oh.
And then I can create super fun backgrounds, and I can use them as embossing. So you can see it's actually completely embossed. So you can kind of create your own embossing folders. Embossing is one of the things that I absolutely love. It's on my YouTube channel. It is the most viewed video on my YouTube channel, is how to emboss with your Cricut machine, but your Cricut Maker. So using the quick swap housing. But this is just such an underrated tool and thing to use, because I actually used a different stencil that I made with Brandy's card, and that one was I just did a color, just an inking background with the stencil, and then with this one I used the same stencil and I used vellum through the Cuttlebug, and you can see how it's kind of whited the embossing sections. It looks so cute. I love her card. I did another one. It ran away. Oh, there we go. And with this one, I used texture paste through the same stencil. So I used the same stencil in 3 different ways to create 3 like wildly different cards with the same stencil. So 1 embossing, 1 texture paste, and 1 just plain ink. They're so versatile. They're so cheap to make, because you could probably get 2 full card stencils out of a single sheet. And I mean, stencils are how expensive to buy, and you've got a Cricut, you could just cut your own. The only complicated thing about that is getting the cut setting. And once you've got the cut setting right, you're A for away.
Can you only cut those on the Maker, or
I've cut them
any
on
of the machines?
Oh, okay, cool.
Any of your machines. The Joy. Just get the cut setting.
Ask, what sandwich do you use when you're embossing? What plates?
Whichever sandwich that works. So that's actually kind of another, thank you for mentioning that though, because that was actually something else that I wanted to mention. I'll have to go, I did it in my members live stream a few weeks ago, but I think it was an ABC sandwich. But I'll have to double check. I can double check while we're here. But the trick to getting, especially the embossing, is this. This is a silicone kitchen mat that I've just cut up into a piece that fits the stencil, and I run that. So I run the sandwich of the silicone mat, the paper, and then the embossing, the stencil. Yep. And that really helps get the good definition through on the paper. But so this is going to make the world of difference on your embossing pages.
We need a list of all the crafting tools that aren't crafting tools.
Right?
Like that.
Who would have thought? The kitchen silicone mat.
Well, there's like the crafting tacks. You know, they sell those in like embossing rubber sheets, but I bet it's like 5 times as expensive as a kitchen silicone mat.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
It's the exact same thing. It's just that somebody, we'll do it in
as opposed to
crafty color.
Yeah. So that's
the pinks and blues and purples that we love for our craft rooms.
Yeah.
And it's super cheap, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. Jamie, what is your favorite hack? Cricut card hack.
Let's see. Well, speaking of tools that you can make at home, I actually tried to find it, but I couldn't find my example. But when we did the shaker card for the project, I introduced a static pillow, and you can get these at craft stores and stuff. And I think I got this on Amazon for about $7. And it's basically just a little pillow filled with cornstarch or baby powder. But you can take a sock, or like a baby sock or a small sock, and fill it just with a bunch of cornstarch from Walmart, and then use that for your dusting pillow, and that costs like 85 cents. So if you're doing shaker cards and you need to take some of the static off of the acetate, you can just lightly dust it with the sock with your cornstarch and stuff in it, and it helps the little sequins. If you have paper pieces inside there, or little clay pieces, anything that might stick, that actually helps it to unstick. And then you can get your shaker nice and shaky. So anyways, that's my biggest tip for today.
That's a good one.
That's perfect for where you're missing a sock and you're like, okay, now I have this
Oh,
one
that's a
random
good
sock.
point.
What am I going to do with it?
Exactly. Yep.
That's what I can
Exactly.
use that sock for.
That's
But
right.
it's also kind of, they make those for heat embossing with like what I call traditional card making, like with embossing powder.
Right.
And so it's kind of
Okay.
the same thing, but it's way cheaper to do it with the cornstarch. Yeah, and a sock. That's a great idea.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Sean, Sherry, you kind of started us off on hacks, but
I
give us
kinda
another one.
did. Literally, I'm the queen of trying anything. Like, my thought is, try it. It might turn out amazing, and then you have your own new hack. I mean, that's how I started using HTV. I hadn't seen anybody else using HTV on cardstock projects, and I had to cut something really detailed. I was like, you know what? If it doesn't work, I ruined this little piece of HTV and cardstock. What's the big deal? So experiment, because you can find just amazing things. And look around your house. I mean, like we were just talking about, you could probably find something that has a pattern that you could use as an embossing template. You know, think of like in your kitchen, the splatter screen. Like if you go buy one of those at the dollar store, that might be a cool effect to use. Trial and error, somebody just put in the chat, and absolutely, because you just play around with stuff until you go, okay, that's cool.
That's good. Yeah, it's good. I love that. I'm always a big fan of like, you need to give yourself permission to play,
Right,
and make mistakes. We were kind of talking about this earlier today, because I know it's like so hard because I'm a recovering perfectionist. You know, like you want to make sure that you don't make any mistakes, but it's like the only way that you can learn is by making mistakes. And so really mistakes are better for you because that's how you grow. And you should just, like what Sean's saying, just have fun, just go for it. Like who cares? And use some cheap, like the cheapest, dollar store paper or vinyl or whatever you can find. If you're worried about like losing a lot of money from cutting your expensive tools, try it on that first and see if it works.
or test with your scraps, like we were just talking about. Like, all right, what setting should I be pressing this at? How long? How much? Play around with some scraps of cardstock and vinyl, because we all have tons of it.
Yeah, and like when I'm busy creating or designing something, I always use. Sorry, I accidentally muted myself. I always use the colors of cardstock that I tend to use the least, because those are the ones that, like, when you buy in a bulk pack, you're not going to use them as much. So use those colors to test on, because you can still get the kind of the whole idea and the practice. And, then you get to use up cardstock that you might not have used for a project. So I think that's also what I tend to do.
Yeah.
I've even done that if I'm doing a shirt and I'm like, okay, how big do I want to put this design on there? Cut it out of my ugly cardstock stack. Because we buy those packs and then you're like, oh, this is pretty. And then you get to some pages that you're like, that is a pattern I will never use. But yeah, use it for your tests.
That's perfect.
Or if you're trying to learn how to make like fancy fold cards and things that have motion. When I first started with those, I pulled out my ugly cardstock and just went to town, because you have to figure out how those mechanics work.
Yeah.
And you're screwed up the first couple times. But then once you get it right, you're like, okay, this one goes valley, this one goes mountain. You can mark it and have a little template cheat sheet right there.
Yep.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Jamie, Corey's been waiting for this answer. So when you used your like little embossing powder packet on your card, it doesn't mess up the tape? Doesn't keep the tape from sticking?
So typically what I do is, just for an example, I like to use these little, what would you call them, foam tape, but they're the tall ones. So they're like 1/8 of an inch thick. And I'll actually tape around the design first and then or around the acetate, and then I'll use the little pillow and just kind of dab at it like that. And then that way it doesn't get stuck to the tape. And as far as, when you put your top piece on, I haven't had it like have a problem with that. So yeah, as far as I know, as long as you're using like the nice foam tape, you shouldn't have a problem. But tape around first, and then dab the powder on, and then put your sprinkles or your filler in there, and then take the I guess that's it too. These little foam tape bits do have the little tabs, so don't take the tabs off until you're absolutely ready and loaded to put your back on, and then that way it should keep any powder from off the sticky part, if that's helpful.
Yeah, that's smart.
Thanks.
Do you ever have to like tap out? Like, do you ever get too much cornstarch on the acetate? So it's kind of like changing it, it's blurring it? Because I've had that happen. I'm just wondering, what do you do if you that?
I probably would, instead of tapping it, I'd probably just turn it over and tap like that, as opposed to like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
when you say
honestly,
it was supposed to be frosted.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Kelly's got her answer for the sandwich.
Nice.
Yeah, I just quickly, when Shawn was talking, I just quickly did because I never, the thing is like, I never take notes of like, which is terrible because I should be taking note of these things because I need to tell people like what to do. But I mean, I can also just quickly, so I just did another coffee bean one.
That's so pretty.
Oh, I love it. I mean, the only thing about stencils is you have to make sure that the pieces are all joined to the major stencil, because just like with cardstock, the pieces will drop out. So if you have like an O, the middle section of the O will drop out. So you just have to like connect it with a little rectangle or just weld it together. But that's
a bridge.
Yeah, you have, yes, exactly, like a bridge.
Yeah.
Build a bridge and get over it.
I love that.
Nice.
Oh,
all right, who's got another hack?
Oh.
Anybody? I'll do one. This is not really, most people probably know this one by now, but if you don't know it, it's going to change your life. And as a Joy Extra person, you can use the Cricut Joy Foil Transfer Tool to score.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so,
yes,
a lot of people know that now, but anybody who doesn't know that, we don't get the choice to score with the Joy or the Joy Extra in Cricut Design Space, but you can choose foil and then just put the tool in without foil, obviously, to draw any lines that you want scored. Really, really easy and life-changing, in my opinion.
Amazing how many hacks and tricks we think of over the years. I mean, you think about like when we first got our Cricuts and they're like, oh, well, you can't do this. And it was like almost a challenge, like, yeah, watch me make something larger than that. Or
don't tell me what I can't do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Challenge accepted.
Well, I had a pen adapter originally, and you put to get the stylus to fit in it, and that works too. But you got to have an adapter for that,
right? But before everybody made those adapters, we were all like putting tape on there, or rubber bands, or hair ties. I mean, and then somebody went, "Oh, I could make cute ones and sell them." And we all went, "Why didn't we think of that?"
Any other hacks?
Oh my gosh.
Well, Elena, I'm sorry if I can butt in.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were talking about the foil tip. I did find out too with mine, you can also trade in the foil tip for the embossing tip or the debossing tip. So if you're doing some kind of debossing, I think it's debossing where it pokes in, design, if you don't have this tip, and this one is, gosh, $40 or $50, you can go ahead and trade it out and just do the foil tip and then just do it as such. And I use the, I guess the thickest blade tip that they have in the foil one. But with my card project, you can't really see it, but oh, there you go. There's some debossing way at the back.
Yeah.
And I used, thank you. I used both the foil tip and the debossing tip just to see if it would work. And both of them worked out fantastic. And there really wasn't that much of a difference. So it's kind of nice. You don't have to have every single tip for every single project. You can just, you know, like you were saying, just kind of test it out and see what happens. So that's really nice. You can save some money there if you only have the one tip.
That's
okay,
a
since we're
great
talking
one.
foil, I mean, back to HTV, you get some gold foil or shimmery HTV and cut that. It's going to look like you did gold foiling.
Ooh.
Right, that's what Kelly.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I like recently did a project where I foiled, and I gotta say, I don't know if it was because my foil was old, but it did not turn out so great.
Oh no!
Oh no! Wasn't overly pleased with it.
Yeah.
And I, in the past, have had better experience. So I think, I don't know if it just ages in time, like your foil gets old and then doesn't want to transfer as well. I'm not sure.
It does. It does. I mean, just like with a lot of things, the adhesive on vinyl and the adhesive on HTV does eventually go bad. I think that when it comes to using HTV on cardstock, you have a far more forgiving range.
Yes.
Like it has a much longer lifespan because, I mean, when it comes to sticking HTV on t-shirts, it needs to be able to move. It needs to have good adhesion. But like,
well, and it's going to get washed.
Exactly. And
it needs wash this guy.
No, it's not even gonna bend.
Right. No, totally. Somebody asked, is HTV a brand? And HTV stands for heat transfer vinyl. It means the same thing as iron-on vinyl.
But it's better because iron-on is Cricut vinyl and it's awful.
Yeah, Cricut calls it iron-on because when they started, they didn't have the heat press. All they did was recommend you use an iron. So they called it iron-on. But
I mean, also I like it in terms of like the accessibility because people can use it with an iron.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. Maybe my hot take: you shouldn't use it with an iron. If you're going to be keeping it for yourself, great. If you're going to be selling it, no, you shouldn't. No. But you can use an iron for HTV on or heat transfer vinyl on cards. I mean, I used my mini press for this, and you don't need a lot of pressure. And an iron, a home iron, is perfectly acceptable for something like this. So this is really, really accessible and beginner friendly, basically.
Yeah. And if you're like me, you probably have that iron that you had it too hot, so then something got stuck to the bottom of it. So that's your crafting iron now.
That's true. So Lisa is asking, are all the sessions using Cricut, not Silhouette? No. You just happen to be in the live stream called Cricut Card Hacks. So that's why we are only talking about Cricut stuff in this session. We actually have a Silhouette Hacks video live session, which might be tomorrow. I'd have to look at the schedule. But if you go on the schedule page, you can see at the bottom of each day what the live streams are and what the topics are. So there is actually a Silhouette session for that.
Some of these hacks are interchangeable, like making a stencil and use it as an embossing folder, or the matte stuff we were talking about using iron-on. So some of it transfers.
Yeah, and you can your Silhouette mats too.
Yeah. I mean, I would say almost 95% of everything that we're saying is interchangeable within Cricut Silhouette, Brother, Caesar, and any other Locklick, any other machine, because the principles that you're learning are all the same. The machines all have blades. They all have, granted, like the Silhouette doesn't have a scoring tool, but they do have a foiling tool, but it's now a heat foiling tool. Anyway, but there are lots of like major similarities between the machines. So even if you see the word Cricut, if you're super new and you want somebody to walk you, like drag this here, click on that button, then maybe avoid the Cricut classes. But if you know where everything is in your software, whether you use Brother, Caesar, Silhouette, whatever, a lot of the times you can loosely follow the same steps and achieve exactly the same project. So you don't be put off just because it says Cricut in the title. You can probably make do and learn something.
People, it's like driving a car.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a Toyota, but you get in a rental car that's a Kia. You still know how to drive it, but it's like, okay, where are they hitting the button for the wipers? Yeah, you still know the basics.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So like if you watch the Cricut video where they're like, okay, change this line to a score line, then you know in Silhouette Studio that you have to change that line to score line in that program, you know. Kind of, you can still watch the Cricut tutorial, but apply it, like what Kelly's saying. Use the principles and know, like, okay, this is the kind of what I need to do in Silhouette Studio, and then just use it for that.
And Cricut, thank you for making a big update right before the summit.
Oh,
like, because all our videos are with the old layout now. Sorry, it gets to me. It's always right before everything.
Who has used the Crayola watercolor pens for the Joy? I have not. Has anybody?
I have not.
I've used the Cricut watercolor pens, but not the Crayola ones.
Do they just fit in the Joy? Are they made specifically for the Joy? Or do
I
they
think
just
those
fit?
skinny ones, people have said that they fit really nicely.
Oh. I'm
'cause
going to write that
it's
down and I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
Nice.
More pens to buy. I don't have enough.
On Amazon adapter that literally any pen, it will adjust to fit any pens. Instead of having an adapter for each brand of pen, you have one adapter and it like tightens up.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, anybody who's not liking the changes, join the club. We're getting shirts, matching jackets. It's
Corey, that's what we're wondering too. Do they fit into the Joy without a special adapter? So Leslie, let us know. We're all curious.
If I had kids that had some markers like that, I would test it. But
she said just saw a hack and haven't used it yet. So somebody's going to need to volunteer to go and test and report back.
Exactly. For the next time we have one of these.
Ooh,
I am a blue light gray matte person for cardstock.
Green. I use green for everything though. And I
use blue for everything.
I use blue for everything too.
Yeah. I wait till the green one's not like, oh my God, super sticky, and then start use it. And always flip your mat over and peel the mat back instead of peeling that paper off of the mat.
Absolutely. Yeah. That way you don't curl the paper, you curl the mat.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Try to think
winding down. It's been this is the last live stream of the day. I'm kind of tired. Talking a lot. Makes work.
We got you.
I'm just tired because I haven't been sleeping well, but that's my own.
Oh, okay. Leslie says you do need an adapter for the Joy to use those the Crayola watercolor pens. Okay, good to know.
But it is nice that people have found ways to use different types of pens because those are so readily available just anywhere. If you don't have a craft store near you and you don't like shopping on Amazon, I love Amazon. Sorry, I do. Add to cart, it shows up on my step. Like, how easy. But if you have kids that have markers, try them out.
Sure.
Might as well.
Leslie, your cat bit out the side of your 12 by 24 mat. That's terrible. Can you load it from the other side? I mean, I realize it kind of limits what you can't flip it and get like good usage on both ends, but I'm hoping you could flip it around and load it from the end that's not bitten.
Debbie asked about adapters, Amazon. Just Cricut pen adapter, go to the star rating, click on the one, the highest star rating, and read reviews. I'm sure we all have one on our Amazon page or that we recommend, but
yeah. I actually got mine off Etsy, but they don't make them anymore. So
okay, so
you can 3D print them if you have a 3D printer.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Okay,
it should take like half an hour to print. my 3D printer's been sitting unassembled. I just need to fix 2 parts for like the last year. So I would print one, but I don't, but I just haven't.
I don't have a 3D printer. My husband has one at work. I could ask him to do it.
Yeah.
Next question, can the scoring tool be used for embossing? I have tried that. And in my opinion, it didn't work super well. But what I had to do to get a deeper one was like stack 5 or 6 of the same image on top of each other, all set to score. And then select all of them and attach. And then it's going to go over it 5, 6 times, however many copies you made. And then that does start to get a nicer emboss. Yeah.
It also very much depends on what you use as a base stencil as well. Because if you're going to use just regular, 216 GSM cardstock, your emboss is not going to be as good. But if you use a 300 GSM cardstock, you're going to get a much better result. And also with your offset, the width of your offset. So it's like there's so many different factors involved in getting a good emboss, which I actually do go over in my embossing video. But then I've also got a couple of others to show you on how to use this method and how to emboss with your Explore or your Joy. Embossing is so much fun. I love it.
I used to emboss everything, and then I got out of it, and I need to get that back in there.
So me too. I haven't actually played with it in a while.
So Ruth wants to know, what type of foil do you use in a Cricut? I'm guessing a Cricut brand works, but what about an off-brand? What you need foil that's pressure sensitive as opposed to like heat sensitive.
Oh, okay.
So I do have some. I can't remember. Wait, go look.
Kelly, years and years and years ago, like when I had my expression, I made an embossing folder, Mickey Mouse little icons of his head. Yeah. I mean, you can see behind me. I'm a Mickey.
I saw.
Yeah.
I love it.
I made my own Mickey Mouse embossing folder.
That's cool. That's cool. I've seen people that have made like an actual folder sandwich with stencils so that it creates like, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I used a cereal box to cut the actual folder, like the clear embossing folders, and then a whole bunch of Mickeys and stacked them and glued them so that they were raised up, and it does a really nice emboss.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
It was fun.
All right, I'm not sure because I have Deco foil and then I have Go Press foil, and I think those are all heat activated. So unfortunately, I don't have an answer for an off-brand, but I know they make them. You have the foil.
I know there was one that it was just the heat of your hand was enough heat. You didn't need like a lot. It was way back in the day when I used to go to the craft and hobby trade shows. I remember seeing one, and it was just, they just rubbed with their hand, and that was enough heat.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't remember the brand.
I just
But when it comes to foil, maybe this is going to be a bit of a hot take, but I think that the Cricut foil transfer tool is awful. The one that I use is the foil quill. That's the heat one, because it get the results that you get on that are just so much more consistent And with the Cricut foil tool, the cardstock has to be correct. The adhesion on the mat has to be correct. The pressure has to be correct. The design has to be correct. Like there's just so many things that have to be perfect in order for you to get a perfect result. The foil quill.
You have to buy all the Cricut things. So then
Yes.
that's how they get it.
Exactly. The foil
And even
quill,
then, it's inconsistent.
yeah. I mean, it uses heat and it's just so much more forgiving. And you can make more mistakes. You can have a wider variety of different projects, designs. It's a lot easier to use than the foil transfer tool.
Do you use an adapter with it? Do you use it in the Cricut, and then do you use an adapter?
The C adapter, if I'm not mistaken. I can check because it should be.
Because I've used that in my Silhouette and in my Scan & Cut, but I've never used it in the Cricut.
Yeah. So I've got a little basket, and then from the front, you guys just see the nice pretty foils that I've lined up. But I'm pretty sure it's the C adapter.
I was going to say, I know a hack about fixing your bad foiling with the foil tool. Because I had in this project that I've got, this is actually my project for Bet, so don't anybody tell. But I did like these foil lines on the poinsettia.
Oh, wow.
And I did it with the foil transfer tool. And it was really inconsistent. And I wasn't happy about it. So, and then the sentiment was foiled too, which you can't really tell. But the glitter gold gel pen, you can touch up your foiling with that.
Nice.
It's the Cricut brand, and it's the I've got it, but I should probably stop running off camera. But it's for the larger pens, so it's not for the Joy, but it's for like the Maker and the Explorer series and those guys. But it's the glitter gold gel pen. So then you can just like go in the little lines that the foil tool embosses on the paper with that glitter gold gel, and it works. It like kind of blends just right into the gold foil. And obviously, it only works for gold, but it worked.
Still, you're doing a lot of gold. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
So we should answer poor Christy's question. Does anyone know what the shelf life is on HTV?
I have heard people discuss this. I have some HTV that I've had for a very, very, very long time. And I usually will test it on I also sew. So I'll have a scrap piece of fabric and I test it on there. But I haven't had anything go bad. If you're worried about it, that becomes your paper using
Oh, that's a good point.
HTV. It's like we talked about before. You just need it to stick a little bit. It's not like somebody's going to be, doing a lot of heavy duty stuff to this card. So it's like it just needs to stick enough that it doesn't fall off. So if it's not sticking to fabric, use it on your cardstock. Why not? Then you still are getting some use out of it.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
And so Tammy wants to know, what's the specific type of foil to use with the quilling tool? So that's like the heat sensitive ones, right?
Yeah, pretty much most of them, as long as it's not toner reactive foil, because that's what you would use with a laser printer. Then most of them, I mean, this is a bugbear for me. It's like when you're buying printable vinyl and you're trying to buy printable sticker paper, and then in the listing they're trying to hit all the keywords. So they're like printable vinyl, sticker, paper, foil, blah blah, and I'm just like just use the relevant keywords, please, because I don't know, is this paper or is this vinyl? So like a lot of them will just use heat foil, toner foil, and then like how am I supposed to know which is which? So the majority of them should be heat foil that you'll buy. If it doesn't specifically say toner foil, and if it doesn't specifically say pressure foil, then most of the time you should be in the clear.
I know I've used the foil that works in the Spellbinders foiling system, that where you can foil dies. with that, it's the same kind of foil. If I know that's really helpful since I can't tell you what it is.
But yeah, I mean that is I've got one. It's just in my husband's room, because you know what's that? How does that saying go? I'm keeping all of my craft supplies in a box, and then the husband says, "Stop calling our house a box." That's very much accurate. Yeah.
Yep. I just sent my mom a picture the other day that it had this pretty small house and then like this gigantic storage building behind it that said yarn storage.
That's funny.
I was like, yeah,
I need
great.
a yarn storage and a craft storage as well. Craft
Yeah.
rooms. I need one of each.
I keep joking to our daughter. I'm like, when you move out, that's going to become my craft room because it's bigger than my current room.
Well, yeah. So
She's
you
like, where
use
am
the
I going to
metal
sleep when I come home? I'm like, not my problem. I have to craft.
Do you use the metal mat with the quill, Kelly?
No, I just use my normal mat.
Okay.
It doesn't. It's
Yeah,
not
that's what I've
on the same spot long enough. At least I've never done any design where the foil core has gone over a particular area long enough to make a problem or create a problem with the mats. I replied and I said the foil mat, but then afterwards I was like, I should have said metal mat instead of foil mat. But yeah, I've never had a problem, but I do use the little metal. They've got like a spatula that I put underneath because you seat it in the housing. You have to remove the thingamabob, and that's the technical term.
It's different than the doohickey.
Exactly. I'm so glad you know.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
where is
I don't
my
know.
quill? I've got it right here somewhere too.
Yeah, the little thingy, in the A housing that the pen clicks into, that little thingy, you've got to remove
adapter.
that. Thank you. That's the word. I did warn you guys at the beginning that my words were going to fall off at some point. You've got it. Yeah. So then I always put the little metal plate underneath it, just to make sure.
Somebody said
I
they
know
love
what
your
metal plate you're
technical
talking about,
term.
but I can't find it. So
I think mine fell off here somewhere because I just took it out.
Does anybody ever go into their craft room and start feeling like the Little Mermaid of, you want thingamabobs? I got 20.
All the time.
Sorry, I had to pull in the Disney reference. Yeah.
of course.
Love it.
Like,
Jamie, do you
questions go past me?
Jamie, do you use foil on your cards and things like that?
I have the foil, and I have to say I'm a little bit more of a collector of a lot of craft materials, but I don't always get to use them. Collector being, quite the term. So it could be a hoarder at this point.
Two different hobbies.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. I really liked using the foil cardstock for my project. It was so pretty, but it was thick and it was easy to use. But yeah, I haven't used the actual thin foil sheets, but it all looks very pretty. So I'm sure at some point I probably will get to it. So we'll see.
In the long list of crafts that we all want to do. I mean, I think we all
Absolutely.
have so many. Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Just need to retire so I can spend my time crafting.
Mm-hmm.
First, I get out of this and get feeling back in my fingers.
Yes, for sure.
So we've got a question about her foil sheets are shiny on both sides. So does it matter how she places it? I've never had that.
Typically with foil, the color side needs to be facing up because that will be what gets pressed. So that'll be what shows on the design once you're done. I mean, not all foils work the same. So disclaimer, not all of them are made the same, but typically when you're working with foil, the color side, so like I've already packed it away now. But if you're using the green foil, then you would place it on the mat so that the green is facing up and that gets pressed down. It kind of works like HTV, heat transfer vinyl, in that, but you don't mirror it. you don't mirror it, but you do place it down and then with the color up. Both sides are shiny, but the one side will be more, most of the time the one side will be more. There we go.
There you
Yes.
go.
So the silver
This is be like Cricut. This is
Kind of
Cricut
little-
foil. So this is the side you want up, the really shiny one, and then the silver side is
correct.
shiny but a little less shiny.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's how yours are too. If they're shiny on both sides, that you can kind of tell
It's
which
kind
is
of
the
like
right side.
a duct tape shiny versus a foil shiny. You know, the
Yes.
silver side kind of looks
Yeah.
like duct tape to me.
It's like satin versus gloss. sort
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you guys, our hour has passed. We got a lot of hacks going there, and I've got a little list here of things I have to try. So
The list just keeps getting longer after these videos.
I know,
Right.
seriously.
You have
I'll
one
talk
summit
to
that's all just
Aaron
hot.
Reed is behind the scenes. Are there any questions that we've missed, Aaron, that we should answer before we all go?
Mhm.
Oh my God, I forgot
I'm
Aaron.
guessing not.
I see
She's not
Sarah-
showing it
Sarah
up on the
asked-
screen.
Yeah. There we go. Will the live sessions be available?
Well, the live sessions are always on my YouTube channel, so you can go into that anytime at all. I will be per a request this morning. I will be posting the links to all the replays in the VIP Pass, probably in the first section of the VIP Pass, if you know what I'm talking about. I haven't done it yet, but I will at some point. Probably it might be after the summit's over, but if you want to see them right away, the links, you can go on those links on the schedule page on the public website, on the free website, anytime to watch those replays once we've already recorded it. So, or go to it's Black Sheep 303 Crafts on YouTube, and you'll see in the live streams, like you can click on them to watch them, and they will be there forever.
Amazing.
You can watch them until you're sick of listening to us talk about different Cricut hacks.
Yeah, really. Oh, I do see one question that Jamie that has not been answered.
Ooh.
Did you have some type of extra adhesive on your light grip mat in your video for the Christmas tree shaker card?
I did not. I just used really heavy cardstock, and it seemed to work. And I hope I'm not blinding people, but it's foil cardstock, and I guess it looks exactly like foil, but it's the 65-pound one, and I just really used the brayer tool and stuck that baby on there, and that's all I needed.
Yeah, cool. So no extra
Elbow
adhesive
grease.
needed.
That's
Yeah,
right,
I've got
that's
some
right.
really
Yeah, elbow
tiny
grease. Yeah.
65-pound foil cardstock. Yeah, and it just sticks on there fine.
Yep.
So for everybody that's loving all the hacks, the next time you go to the craft store and you see that cardstock that's embossed or has foil on it and it costs 10 times as much as a plain sheet of cardstock, you're going to go, oh, I could just do that on my own. So give it a try.
There you go.
Yep, I agree.
That's awesome.
I haven't done embossing with my Cricut yet. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut my own stencils like Kelly.
Nice.
I can send you a video. I know somebody that has a video.
Oh, cool.
I know a girl.
Yeah, I know a girl.
Yeah, I might know somebody who could tell me how to do that.
Oh,
All right. Well, I'm going to let everybody go. And then I have a very brief, just general thing to tell everybody. So if you guys want to log off, you are welcome to. You can hang out. It's up to you. But I don't want to take up more of your time. Thank you very much, ladies, for being here and helping out our people, our audience, with some great Cricut card hacks. And helping me too. I learned some stuff. So cool.
so
happy
glad
to be here.
Go to bed, Kelly. It's time for,
Yeah.
like getting around bedtime.
Yes.
almost
Or
bedtime.
you're a night owl.
Yeah, I am.
That's great.
All right. All right. So my quick thing that I wanted to let everybody know is we have had a problem with Gmail accounts today getting the emails from the summit because they're being sent out in a huge batch of 8,000 going out at once. So for some Gmail accounts, they're bouncing. So Gmail's rejecting the email. So if you know how to do it, if you put hello@cardmakingwithsvgs.com into your like safe email settings, then you should be able to get them. We can also give you more specific instructions on how to do it if you don't know how. If you email the email down here, hello@cardmakingwithsvgs.com. I've made some adjustments to the to my email service, so I'm hopeful that it's not going to happen again tomorrow. But that is a problem that's the main issue we've had today. So I apologize for that, but we've got a way to fix it. So thank you. And thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope you got some good ideas for some different hacks. I certainly did. I'm going to be trying that embossing thing like ASAP. So have a great rest of your day. I will see you bright and early at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow for the next crafty chat. Let's see who I've got coming in for that. Let me look at my list here. So tomorrow we have Catherine, Bet, and Debbie will be back for the crafty chat in the morning. And then we also have craft and card organization ideas at 1 p.m. And then we'll be talking about which machine is right for you. We'll be talking about Cricut, Silhouette, Caesar, other machines, the good things and the bad things. And we've got a bunch of people for that. We've got Kelly, Shelly, Aaron, and Terry Johnson, who's a Silhouette expert, and me. So have a great day. Keep watching those videos if you haven't watched them all yet. And you got quite a bit more time to get through those. And then at 9 a.m. tomorrow Eastern time, the new set of videos will be available. So thanks so much. Have a great day.